Hey, hey, what's good, y'all? What's up, Dub? This is gonna be an interesting live stream tonight. I tell you what, we about to cook tonight. We're gonna talk about some, you know, saying some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how this one goes. This one goes pretty good. Maybe we'll do more live streams like this. Maybe I can add another live stream a week where we just talk about pressing issues and stuff like that. Because I feel like tonight's issue is it is for real banger because it's just there's a lot to it, especially with like a lot of information that's been disclosed over the internet the last few days by different content creators. So, I appreciate that. Ox, what's good, man? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll still do the listening to your music stream tomorrow morning or afternoon as well. So this isn't going to supersede that one. Tyrone, what's up? You like that Oracle? That's what's up. I need to check that Sky Studio stuff out. But that Oracle, I wasn't capping. I think it's fire, but I think it's more so fire for the kits and everything else. And then the fact that you're gonna get, basically a free plugin when he gets the update. And I'm gonna make sure, I hold him to it. Not to say I have to. He's typically, a man of his word and everything. So to get it now and then to get like 200 more presets, and then they're gonna develop it in a different software, and so it's gonna be more synthy. It's gonna be a more fire plugin. What's up, DJ KZ Beats? Welcome, 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 welcome. So I'll let a few more people get in here before we get started on the topic. Hope you guys are all having a good weekend. Hope everything's going well for you guys. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely got a lot to talk about in this one today. Because like I said, it's just a lot. It's just a lot, So we're going to definitely get it going. Yeah, them kicks bang, them 808s bang, all that stuff bang. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're just hopping in here, say what's up. We're going to get going here in just a few minutes. I just want to let a few people get in before we get rolling because the beginning of what we're going to do is kind of important, you know what I'm saying? Because there's like a lot of just stuff, I'm not here to defend Kanye. I'm not here to kill or, destroy Kanye. I'm just here to point out maybe he was right, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some hypocrisy going around the way that we treat Kanye. Not saying that I support a lot of the stuff that he says, because that brother is crazy. That nigga wild. That nigga's wild. But maybe we hold too much stock in what he says too. So there's a whole lot to talk about, and then it's going to tie into like a lot of the issues going on with these DSPs and how they're treating artists and so on and so forth. So you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So how's you guys' weekend going? And then I'm probably going to chop this down and make it a video as well. You know what I'm saying? Just because, isn't that what everybody's doing nowadays? I don't have my chat popping up on the screen though. I need that. Chat box. Why aren't you giving me no love, chat box? Still not showing you. Why am I not getting the... I need the chat box. Are y'all seeing the chat box? Jebediah, what's good? Oh, there we go. I'm getting some chats in now. Let's move it up just a little bit. Make sure we get some of these chats up in here. And then on the main screen, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I wish I knew how to make my ish dark mode. All right. So maybe we'll just get this thing going. People pop in, they pop in. If they don't, they don't. All right. Get my last little vape out real quick, and then we'll get going. I'm definitely gonna bounce this down. All right, man. So as a lot of you guys have seen late, let me start that over. Nunu, what's good? So as a lot of you guys may know, recently DSPs have been losing their minds and basically doing whatever they want. And by DSP, I mean basically digital streaming platforms and the distributors to those platforms. So as we know, Spotify has just recently changed, their policy, and they're not going to be paying people who get under $1,000 for a stream. All they're going to pay you is for basically the songwriting credits, which I believe is 20% of that 0.0003 cents, which is pretty trash, as most of us know. But it hasn't stopped there. You know, TuneCore has been doing ridiculous things. Like, we all know that TuneCore recently just took down a whole bunch of Ben Jordan's music because he was speaking out about DSPs and stuff like that. It looks like they did reinstate it. I believe Ben Jordan did take his video down, because I was going to quote different parts of his video today. But he took it down, probably had to take it down in agreement for them to put the music back up on the DSPs. Kind of wish that he would have left the video there for a reference point for the next person that goes through this. Because obviously if they'll do it to you, they're going to do it to somebody else. And this isn't like really the first time that, we've heard about DSPs taking advantage of people, or DSPs doing whatever they want. So I know a ways back, Kanye had the most crazy rant in the world. And I get that a lot of the things that he was saying was kind of hurtful and, not right. So I'm not agreeing with everything that Kanye West was saying. Definitely not doing that. I'm more of a Kanye fan from, All Falls Down and Jesus Walks. That's my Kanye. This new Kanye isn't necessarily the character that I know or that I loved and grew up listening to. But with that being said, within every piece of, what some people may say garbage things that he's saying, there are a lot of truths in those sayings. So I'm not going to get into a lot of it, but a lot of it I am going to get into, because it's really kind of a double standard on the way that they treat him, and it's kind of jacked up the way that they treat artists. So I have this clip right here from TMZ. I didn't go back and get the old clips, but I got this clip right here from TMZ. And basically they ran down Kanye at an airport, and they started asking him some questions. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to this. I'm going to bring up some different examples of other things. And then I'm going to actually react to Top Music Attorney is actually in the middle of a lawsuit, or I guess, I don't know if she's litigating against TuneCore or whatever, but she just dropped a fire video the other day, and I kind of talked about it on the news report that I just dropped on Saturday. And so I kind of want to talk about that. I want to talk about some other people's experiences so that we can see that these DSPs don't follow the terms of their agreement. And ultimately they do what they want to. So if they don't want to pay you, they won't pay you. So let's go ahead and start off here with Kanye. And this is Kanye kind of at the airport, and they're interviewing him and asking him some questions.
Apple level,
Let's go ahead and turn this up real quick. My bad, y'all.
Where's the Apple level? It's just me and my bro Elon. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Some of the streaming platforms removed you.
We number one. Right. We number one,
All right, so I stopped it real quick because this is a main point that I want to hit on in this video, is that a lot of DSPs and streaming platforms took Kanye's music down because of his anti-Semitic rant that he went on, which again, I am not excusing that. I am not racist. I love everybody. I grew up in the suburbs, so I get along with everybody. But what I want to point out, what I don't think is cool, is that they are willing to take Kanye's music off of DSPs because they're saying that his rants and his comments are hurting people. But if you go onto Spotify and you just Google Johnny Rebel, look here, right here. This song right here is on Spotify. I know y'all see, oh, y'all can't even see it. Let me go ahead and, can I scroll down and see it somewhere else? Let me go ahead and mute this because I'm not going to play the song on the platform. Here we go. All right, so this song right here is by Johnny Rebel. Y'all see the name of this damn song? So this shit is literally on fucking Spotify, right? You got Johnny Rebel on Spotify, who is a straight racist, who makes nothing but well, he's dead now, but regardless, this is the music that you can find on this platform. You can come down here and look at this. Look at the name of this song, Coontown. Look at the name of this song, Jigaboo. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these racist ass songs on this platform that they've kept up and that have been over here since the inception of this platform. So if the words that Kanye say are so hurtful to a whole entire, race of Jewish people, then why does it not matter when there's racist songs that are affecting black people? And that's kind of what Kanye was getting at, is that it only matters to folks that run these platforms, but the people who aren't in power, if there's something that's attacking you and it's something that hurts you, it doesn't matter, right? And so, granted, this has nothing at all to do with this topic, but it absolutely does, and it'll make more sense as I explain. So Nikki Haley was just on the Breakfast Club here a couple weeks ago, right? Nikki Haley is running for president. And on her platform, she has been saying that America wasn't built on racism, which is very hurtful to a black person, because we understand that our ancestors and our relatives were slaves and they helped build this country. And so for you for America to try to not teach critical race theory and basically erase that from history is just insane. So this is her on a black platform. Again, I'm not racist, but I'm just trying to put all this in sight to let you see what Kanye was kind of coming at. So this is her talking to Charlemagne the God on a platform that's basically a black platform. Gotta unmute it. Gotta get my life together.
And we taught them a skill. Now when someone leaves the fence, they have a job to go to the next day. We have the lowest recidivism rate in the country. The goal is not what the circumstances are. How do you pull people out of those circumstances and lift them up?
Well, you can't heal what you don't reveal. So you have to acknowledge the history of this country.
You have to acknowledge that these things are happening, and how are you going to fix it?
Absolutely. Now, I wonder, why can't politicians, Democrat and Republican, because we've heard you say America's never been a racist country. We've heard the vice president say that before. We've heard OG Jim Clyburn say that before. We've heard Tim Scott say that before. Why can't Democrats and Republicans just be honest and tell people, hey, we can't have honest conversations about racism in this country because it's not a good electoral strategy?
I mean, that's not why I do it.
That's why.
No.
That's why everybody does.
I have talked about racism as it affected me and how we need to get past it. I mean,
you can't talk about it and say America's never been a racist. You can't say America's never been a racist country, but then talk about the racism you've experienced.
There is racism in our country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that our country was founded to be racist. I don't. I think that it was meant to be this amazing experiment to see if we could have freedom and democracy in a way that all men are created equal.
So here is where it gets nasty, because how are you going to say that America was built on where everybody was supposed to be free, everybody was supposed to be equal, but when the country was created, there was slaves. And so, again, I know this doesn't go into the whole music thing, but it just feels like there's a double standard, because when Kanye says something that may come across racist and it may be hurtful to other people, he gets canceled. When Nikki Haley says something that's, hurtful to other people and that comes across racist, she gets to run for president. So I feel like I just feel like that is just jacked up. So I just wanted to put that little backstory in there. Now let's go ahead and get back to Kanye and get back to the TuneCore and the DSPs and all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to that. So.
Everything that they did only helped us. I like it. Remove us. I like simplification. Streaming platforms is bullshit to the artists anyway. Really? Spotify would give us $500 million between all of us and say, work it out amongst yourselves. I'm like, what? Well, what about Adele? What about Drake? What about Weeknd? What about Taylor Swift? What about me? They like, no. Doesn't matter how much any of y'all stream. Y'all got to work that $500 million. A $500 million? A $500 million? That's what streaming companies think of us as the musicians, and all the label owners just hand it over.
Right.
You understand?
So, you know, what he's saying is basically Spotify and all the DSPs only want to give the artist, you know, 500 billion or 500 million. That's what the artists get to split in order to, you know what I'm saying? That's what the artists get to split, all the artists on the platform. So you, me, Kanye, Drake, Adele, there's only $50 million that they're willing to pay out to the artists on the platform. But then when you go look at how much money Spotify made last year, Spotify made $14.33 billion in 2023. Now, I get that a lot of that goes to wherever, but obviously I've done a video before in the past. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see it too. So as you see here, Spotify technology annual revenue for 2023 was $14.33 billion, right? So basically Spotify, let me do the math here. Let me get the math right because I don't want to just spout out a number on the math. Normally I'm good with math, but I just want to make sure I get the numbers right on this about how much money that they're giving us of the salary and the money that they made. Because again, you know, it's not cool. So what did he say? 400, we'll just say 500 million, we'll round up. We'll divide that by 14.33. So that is they're saying 3%. I feel like that's not right though. Like 3.4% of the money that Spotify makes, they pay out to the artist. And so basically what he's saying is they're pocketing all this money. They can't make money without the artist. And that's just something that we all know is that I get that it's not profits, but we have to think too a lot. We're not going to be able to see the profits, but how much do you really think that it's going to cost to run Spotify? Do you think it's going to cost $12 billion to run Spotify? A lot of that money is going back to obviously the investors and everything like that. But there needs to be a better revenue split. So like when you look at like professional sports, in professional sports, there is like a 50-50 revenue split because the NFL wouldn't exist without the players. The NBA, it's 52-48. So the players get more than the owners in the NBA because without the players, there is no league. And so with music and these music streaming platforms, there needs to be a better way because without the artist, without music, Spotify doesn't exist. But music's going to exist without Spotify because there was a world that we've all lived in before where there was CD sales and there was all this other stuff. There's other ways for artists to make money. So, you know what I'm saying? Artists could make money, you know, selling CDs, tapes, vinyls, doing more shows, doing more stuff like this. I talked about in the newscast where nowadays you see tickets for like Taylor Swift where they're $1,000 a ticket, right? So if you think about it, the reason why these tickets went from being $50 for a good ticket in like 2000, 2005 to $1,000 because that is a gross change in the amount of money you know paid for a ticket. It's because these artists want their money. And the average listener doesn't understand that the artists who are putting together all this music and doing all this stuff are the ones that are getting shafted and the ones that are getting taken advantage of. So basically, to make a long story short, the artists are like, we're going to get our money. So if we got to charge you $1,000 for a ticket because you don't want to buy our CD, we're going to charge you $1,000 for a ticket. We're going to make our money. And when you think about it, it would just be cheaper if we went back to CDs or a way where people are paying $10 for the CD that they want and they didn't have to pay $1,000 for the ticket. So we'll go ahead and listen to a few more things that Kanye had to say, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at some shady practices from TuneCore.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't on that, bro. As long as I breathe, I'm here for all of my artists, all of my peers, and all the people. People get in the way. That's what the market does. They get in the way. The diamonds are infinite, but people make a market out of it and try to charge more. They make diamonds our girl's best friend. You see what I'm saying? They make the Twix bigger. They trying to make us fat. You know what I mean?
What do you have to say to people who resent your success based on some things you've said they disagree with?
That's the whole thing. They got the right to their opinion. I got the right to my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? We all have the rights to our opinions, but so many people will lose their jobs, lose their careers for taking the steps that we took. You know, we went down.
All right, so basically, now let's look at when you go to YouTube and you go to TuneCore robbing, right? So as you hit TuneCore robbing, I didn't do a good job of switching. Let me hit this vape real quick. What up, y'all? Let me say what's up to a few people here real quick. What's up, Weaver? I don't know if you're still in here. What's up, Nunu? Dick McGuffin, what's good, my guy? Security, what's up? What's up? The Heist, you know what I'm saying? What's up? What's up? Appreciate y'all hopping in. I know this isn't what I normally do, but I was gonna shoot this video anyway, and I didn't know how I was gonna shoot this video, so I just decided to live stream it. And if people wanted to hop in, they could hop in. If not, it's all good. You know, do what you want to do. I know it's Saturday night. I know people out kicking it, doing what they do. All right, so as we look here, if you hit up TuneCore robbing you, there is all kinds of different stories of how TuneCore has taken advantage of people, how TuneCore hasn't paid out, and how TuneCore has kicked people off the platform. So you can just scroll down and you can literally just type in TuneCore robbing and find all kinds of stories. But here is a story that kind of hurts because, you know, here is a indie guy who doesn't have much money. At the beginning of the story, he tells you about how he used DistroKid as his DSP, and then he needed to upload something under another artist name, and he just didn't have the money to upgrade to the $79 plan or whatever it is. So he went to TuneCore, and this is kind of his experience with TuneCore. What's up, Dave? Happy birthday, Dick McGuffin.
I went through the whole process, and let me tell you, I was really thorough. I checked everything, double, triple checked. I'm paranoid as fuck. I filled everything correctly. Let's just be clear on that. I choose the release date, I submit, go about my business. Couple days go by, I receive an email. Now, you can't make this shit up. Look at this. Hello there. Per the TuneCore terms and conditions, TuneCore has the right in its sole discretion to reject any material submitted by TuneCore users for distribution. This notice is to inform you that TuneCore has blocked my fucking album from being downloaded and streamed from all the fucking stores I've uploaded to. While we have no refund policy, of course, refund for your submission can be processed under certain circumstances, which are not disclosed in this email, are actually nowhere fucking disclosed. Please let us know if you have any questions. I did have some questions, so I wrote them back. My main question was, what the fuck? I submitted an album for distribution last week, but it got blocked. I would like to know why. Fair question, right? Now, a couple days go by, I get an email like this, very short and sweet. Your request has been updated. This is the comments here. Victor, my reviewer pal. Hello there, thank you for writing and I apologize for the delay. Unfortunately, we have made an internal decision not to release the content and to protect our review policies and practices, so we do not disclose the reasons why releases are blocked. Best Victor, that's it. That's all I got from them.
So, you know, again, that's super jacked up. As you see there, your boy, basically, they took his money to upload his CD, and he had to pay for each individual song. And then they blocked his CD and didn't give him a refund. So, you know what I'm saying? They basically took this dude's money who's already said, I ain't got much money. I had to leave DistroKid because I didn't have enough money. And TuneCore was the solution for me. And then they sent him that BS letter. So you see what they said back to him. He showed you the letter. He showed you the evidence, basically saying, you know, TuneCore robbed him and took his money. So I got another one I wanted to show you before I get into the actual Top Music Attorney. I don't have it up. So we'll just go ahead and get right into the Top Music Attorney. Now this right here is absolute fire. She basically is in the middle of a lawsuit with or litigation with TuneCore with an artist. So let me go ahead and get past this commercial.
Hello, Moto. Basketball is back. Watch the action live on a variety of networks with YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
They won't.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start this one up right here. This is a very good video. If you didn't watch the video, it's pretty fire. So here we go.
Artists. So I want to provide context. When we talk about music distributors, what we're talking about are essentially the gatekeepers. Okay, so if you want to get your music on music platforms nowadays, right, you have to upload your music through a music distributor. If you want it on Spotify or Amazon or Apple Music, so they're the gatekeepers. They're glorified banks. You go to a platform, let's say like TuneCore, you upload your music, you tell it where you want it to send all your music, it collects the monies that are earned, the royalties that are earned from those platforms, and they're supposed to put it in your bank account. They take a fee typically, and that's just what it is. Most of these music distributors do pretty much the same thing. They might have additional services, but they're basically meant to be the gatekeeper, to get your music onto music platforms, and you have no option other than that. So here's what happened related to TuneCore. My law firm, as you guys know, it's been in business for 9 years. From time to time, artists will lose access to their accounts. Okay, so like their distribution account, they might have their music taken off of music platforms. Things happen, right? And sometimes it's because there was an error, sometimes because there was a claim. There might have been copyright infringement, or someone's claiming there was copyright infringement. So distributors will yank the music off of music platforms, send notices to the artists, and sometimes this stuff gets escalated to me, right? I get hired as an attorney and they go, Crystal, I've been locked out of my account. The distributor has my money and won't release it to me. Please help. This is
all right. So you see that this is normal. So this isn't like a one-off thing. You know what I'm saying? So as we see, what she's saying is that this is what she does for a job. People often hit her up and pay her because music distributors don't want to pay the artist the money that the artist has earned, which is just nasty work, because again, without the musicians, the music distributors can't make any money. They're not the talented ones. They're not the ones that are putting in the hours, learning how to play instruments, learning how to rap, writing vocals, learning how to engineer, master. They're not the ones that are doing anything. And so you have to think about it like this too. So if the music distributor isn't paying the artist, well, the artist probably has the producer on the track, probably has the engineer on the track, probably has whoever helped write the song on the track. So it's not like they're just taking money out of one person's pocket or one person's mouth. They're taking money out of all these different people who are putting in the work to put this music together, which makes it super nasty work, and they just don't care.
is far and few. Artists do not have the luxury, usually, of having the money to go and hire an attorney. And this was actually the first time that I dealt with TuneCore, because I've handled this before. We send a letter to the distributor, we explain the situation, and we explain more than anything else. And we just go, look, at the end of the day, you can kick artists off your platform. You don't get to keep their money. You don't get to just block them out and take their royalties, regardless of what you're claiming they did, which most of the time they're not going to even try to prove. So most of the time we get the money back. We even sometimes get music reinstated. We get the account reinstated. Everyone's happy. So in this scenario, our client, who gave me authority to talk about this generally, hired us because his music got yanked from music platforms. TuneCore locked him out of his account. And in this case, there were tens of thousands of dollars of royalties here. And he had reached out, actually over the course of several years, trying to get help, trying to get a response, trying to figure out what was all going on. So
again, what's nasty about this is that your average person, like me, maybe you watching this video, it's not going to be tens of thousands of dollars. So when they lock you out of your account, or when they, like the last guy, when they took his money, sent him a letter and said they weren't going to upload it, you don't have the money to pay for a lawyer. Like a lawyer retainer is going to be $1,500, $2,000, something like that. So it's easy for these companies just to be like, nah, we're not going to give you that, fam. If you want to go get a lawyer, go ahead. But, you know, it's only $500 that you're fighting for. It's going to cost you more than $500 to get a lawyer. So do you think that it's going to be worth it in the long run? And of course not. It's not going to be worth it in the long run because you're going to have to pay the lawyer $1,000. You know, the difference is going to be $1,000 between the $500 you made and the $1,500 retainer. So, you know, that's jacked up. You know, this stuff just... We need to be sharing this information more as much as possible so that we can get this fixed, because they're not going to fix it themselves. The DSPs and all these companies, they all work together. I've said this before and I'll say it again. All of the investors, all of the, you know what I'm saying, the stockholders, they all are invested in different music avenues. So whether it's different catalogs, whether it's UMG, Sony, whatever the music company is, they have stock in those companies. So they want to get those streams, and they want to get the streams so they can get paid back. And it's like you guys get what I'm saying, I guess.
So our first kind of go at this, we started in December of 2023, and we always put together a demand letter, and we just explain the same thing that we say to all distributors, which is, hey, you can kick an artist off of your platform, you reserve the right to do so, but you don't get to take their money. We would like you to reinstate all the things, but more than anything, you need to release our client's earnings. They kick back, TuneCore goes, allegedly, our client had participated in, quote, store and streaming abuse, so aka fake plays.
All right, so again, what we need to recognize and what we need to acknowledge is that Spotify just changed their rules when it comes to fake streams. So if Spotify just changed the rules to fake streams to you can have 90% of your streams be botted streams, I'm doubting that this dude had 100%, you know, botted streams. I actually know he didn't because I've seen the rest of this video. So if you think that he has fake streams, well, whatever, you can't kick him off the platform because the rules in Spotify state that they can have 90% of their streams be botted streams, which is sketchy because that's what the record labels do. They bot streams so that their artists is, you know, look better. You know, their artists look more popular. It looks like they can get more advertising dollars. They can get more opportunities to be in commercials or movies or whatever it is by having these 300 million, 400 million, 500 million streams when really the artist probably only got 20 million streams.
So we believe there were fake plays on one or more songs, and therefore your client has forfeited his earnings. This was done without any kind of citation to case law, any kind of baseline other than we just did it. And so, of course, we come back and we're always going to cite to case law and give justification, all the things that usually gets the money released. In this case, we ran into quite some pushback. This escalated to a phone call. TuneCore didn't want to put anything in writing. So we have a little phone call and reiterate.
Now, I need you guys to understand how nasty that is too, is that TuneCore didn't want to email the lawyer back and forth because the lawyer would have, you know what I'm saying, documented conversations with the company so that, you know what I'm saying, she couldn't admit that in court as evidence. So they wanted to talk to her on the phone. So everything that she said is basically hearsay, is that the judge could say it was hearsay or the other lawyer could say it was hearsay.
The position of, well, there were fake plays and therefore it was a violation of our terms of use. We're going to discuss that. And I go, okay, interesting. Let's take a look at your terms of use. And in fact, let me pull it up for you right now. Here we go. So, and in fact, I'm going to go all the way to the top. We're going to have to scroll back, but I just want you guys to see this. Last updated December 11th, 2023. We sent our demand letter around December 1st, 2023. So this was updated not too long after that. I find that curious. Section 1.
Again, more nasty work by TuneCore. Not saying that because of TuneCore or because of her that they changed the terms, you know, of agreement or whatever terms and condition of agreement, but they're telling her to refer to these terms of agreement that were changed December 11th, and the artist is kicked off the platform. So he didn't even agree to these terms and conditions of agreement.
1. Grant of rights. And if you go down, this was what TuneCore cited as justification for withholding our client's royalties. So if you go to F, Roman numeral 8, company.
Oh, what's nasty work is that I just have her talking in the background and I haven't even showed you guys the screen. What? Damn it. I don't even know how far back I got to go. I'll try to patch that in. I'll figure that out on my own.
Shall have the right to retain and or redistribute to third parties any funds or the monetary equivalent thereof which TuneCore determines in its good faith discretion are attributable to improper conduct. In fact, let me even make it bigger for you. So let's go back to that again. Company shall, so meaning TuneCore, shall have the right to retain and or redistribute, to give it to someone else identified as a third party. That could be anyone. That could be my grandma, that could be my aunt, that could be my friend, it could be anyone. If there has been an allegation of improper conduct. So you ask, what's improper conduct? That's a great question. Let's take a look. So if you go to what is now section 1E as in egg, it goes, in the event the company has, in good faith discretion, reason to suspect that your account or recordings have been subject to, involved in, or generated revenue from violating the terms of service, fraud, infringement of copyright, trademark, right of publicity, or any intellectual property right, failure to comply with any third-party license requirement, or streaming manipulation, aka fake plays, collectively defined as improper conduct. So this was TuneCore's argument. They go, well, pursuant to our terms of service, which your client agreed to. And I go, well, did he agree to it? All right, most of the time when you upload, you have to click a little thing and say, I agree to your terms of service. I go, the time that our client's music was taken down was back in 2020. And I go, I don't have the terms of service from 2020. This says it was just updated like a few days ago. Odd. Can you?
Yeah, see? So, I mean, you know, this dude's had his music taken down for 3 years. He's been fighting with TuneCore to get money that he earned. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he didn't break any laws because, again, you can stream up to 90%, but there's more evidence coming. So this is a fire video. She did a really good job putting this together.
Send me the applicable terms of service so we can just take a look. All right, we're always happy to consider all the things because at this point we haven't seen controlling terms of service for that period, and we also have not seen any evidence. You're saying there was all this streaming fraud, fraudsters left, right, and center. So I have not seen anything. Produce the evidence, help me understand, and we can have a meaningful conversation. Because at this point, I'm the only one that decided to legal argument of why you're not allowed to keep someone else's money. So some time passes. And we come back and we go, look, we did some additional research, okay? Because the terms of service of which you are relying on are subject to New York law. In New York, and I'll show you our letter because you know what? You should see it. Pursuant to New York, it says that you cannot have what's called an impermissible penalty in contracts, okay? Because the terms of service is a contract. And that's what they're saying. They go, you signed our contract, agreed to these terms, so you can't go back now. And so we cite to New York law saying you cannot have a term in a contract that says some terrible penalty happens that does not equal an actual damage. So this is really important. If it does not equal an actual damage that TuneCore has suffered, they don't get to just say, we're just going to keep all your money, okay? This is important. So this is specifically what we said in the letter. While TuneCore's terms of service governing these accounts during the relevant periods in about 2020 remain unclear, like we have not received them. And any account earning forfeiture language, right? Forfeiture, which is what they're saying, you have given up the right to your money, even if applicable, is impermissible because it's a penalty under contract law and it's prohibited pursuant to New York law. And we cite to case law, which says, quote, whether a clause represents an enforceable liquidation of damages or an unenforceable penalty.
So in case you don't know, and you're watching, case law supersedes any terms and agreements, or anything that's not lawful. So her basically citing case law is telling them in a nice way, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like it's basically, she's saying, hey, this case law basically says what you're doing is wrong.
Is a question of law, giving due consideration to the nature of the contract and the circumstances. An enforceable penalty clause is an estimate of the extent of injury that would be sustained as a result of the breach of the agreement, thereby embodying the principle of just compensation. Okay, so a bunch of fancy words that basically says that if you have in a contract, you go, if you breach the contract, you have to pay our attorney's fees. If you breach the contract and you do something that incurs damages for us, it's okay that we can recoup, let's say, your royalties up to the amount of that damage. That would be an appropriate way to structure this kind of language. That's not what that said, right? So when we were reading those terms, it's that they had a unilateral right to take all the monies, and not even just to take it for themselves. They get to take it and pay it to a third party, whoever they want. That's what the issue is here. So we're having the call after this, okay? So once again,
so that goes back to, just think about the way Spotify said that they're trying to distribute money. And that's kind of why they changed their terms of agreement, is because they're saying that we can take your money for whatever reason that we want to, and then we can distribute it however it is that we want to distribute the money. So how Spotify basically says they're taking money away from people who aren't real artists, stating that real artists are people who don't get 1,000 streams, so that they can put it into a bigger pot and pay other artists. Supposedly, we don't know who they're going to pay with it, because they're only paying $500 million of the $16 billion they made in revenue last year.
And TuneCore doesn't want to actually put anything in writing and to actually, respond to us. So we get on this call, and this is like strike two, right? Strike one, didn't work. Our client must be a fraudster. We provide more case law, now specific to New York jurisdiction. Strike two, they come back and they just say, no. They go, even with that, of which we don't agree. Our lawyers have drafted this and we think it's ironclad. We believe that your client has committed streaming fraud, and therefore we're not going to release anything. So we have a general sense of this. And
he said they're giving it to Kanye. I'm dead. Bruh.
And on this call, what was just absolutely jaw-dropping to me is that TuneCore took the position not only that our client is not a real artist, but went on to say our client is a scumbag, not a real artist, doesn't deserve the money. It would be unethical to release it to him for all these reasons, and that they would be happy to release it even to a charity of our choosing. We just need to let them know, but they will not release it to our client. You know what that sounds like to me? That kind of sounds like something a dirty cop would do. So you go, you've broken the law, even if it's true, which we have not admitted to, and is not the case, of which I'm going to show you here momentarily. But even if we did break the laws on digital service provider platforms, we paid for fake streams, TuneCore is taking the position they get to pocket that money. You don't get to take the drug money and put it in your own pocket and say you're enforcing the law. So at this point,
and that's basically what they're doing. So they're telling this man, hey, all right, maybe you didn't break any terms of service, but we think you're a scumbag and we're not going to give you your money. Because I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to excuse old boy from having some nasty tactics. Because I know if somebody owed me tens of thousands of dollars, this is just being realistic. You're going to get the nastiest emails. I'm cussing people out. I'm going off. I'm going ham. Just being real, because you owe me tens of thousands of dollars. So we don't know if it's $20, $30, $40, $50,000, but we know it's tens of thousands. So it's more than $10,000, right? So I believe that he probably did have some nasty behaviors, and he probably did snap off and wig out, you know what I'm saying, on the phone or through emails and all this stuff. But that's natural behavior, because the behavior in which TuneCore is, showing is super nasty. So, but that still doesn't give TuneCore the right to give his money to wherever, anybody but him, because he sent him some nasty emails.
We have not received any terms of, use applicable to that period. We haven't received any kind of evidence that there was fake streams. And notably, this is the first time and the only time that TuneCore brings up the fact that Spotify is now going to be instituting sanctions. You guys all know about this. We've covered this. Spotify has made it very clear that for fake plays, music distributors, record labels, artists, you could get sanctioned if you get caught for fake plays. Besides the fact that we tell you just not to do it, it's going to destroy your algorithm. It's not good. I understand why people do it, okay? It doesn't make you a bad person, but you just don't want to do it. But now Spotify really is...
It makes you a bad person. No, I'm just playing. Do what you want.
Going to sanction. And I go, okay, I'm very aware of this policy change that just went into effect beginning of 2024. All the stuff that we're talking about is from 2020. Your new argument to try to save face is not going to fly. And more importantly, this whole withholding tens of thousands of dollars that don't belong to you out of your sense of personal ethics, has no legal weight to it, is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard. And so we were at a standstill, because at this point, as an attorney, I typically come back to the table with the client and I say, we're at a standstill. We need to sue. Straight up. This is conversion. They've taken it. They withheld it. They're not allowed to. This is my legal position. we should sue. But guess what the barrier is for the artist? Lawsuits are extremely expensive. And in those terms of service, there's also all kinds of language, a release of liability, a limitation of liability. If you do sue us, you have to go to arbitration. And they do all these things, so it makes it near impossible for an artist to actually enforce and protect their rights. So in a final ditch effort, we go, all right, it seems to be that this really.
So you see, they do everything they can not to pay you, even though these companies like somebody like TuneCore, I wouldn't think that it would be super expensive to run that platform. And I don't, how many employees do you really need? Because everything is computer or automated. So, you're uploading through a system. Just how many employees do you really need at TuneCore? So, obviously let's look at how much money TuneCore made last year. Oops, can't spell. Don't talk about my typing. I got the computer at a jacked up. So TuneCore made $3 billion, right? In 2022. That's what it's saying right here. And TuneCore's paid 222 million artists in 2021. So, and in 2021, they made 2.5 billion. So as you can see there, that's like 10% they pay out to artists. So the other 90% is going to their investors and the employees at TuneCore. Let's take it one step closer. What's the net worth of the owner? Of TuneCore. Sorry, I'm typing with one hand, y'all. Who owns TuneCore? Oh, Believe Music. What do you know? So, I knew that. So Believe Music owns a lot of other stuff too, but they try to make it seem like they are for the people. That's like one of their mottos. I forgot about that. I knew all that because I did a bunch of research on this already, but let's go ahead and get back to this.
Isn't based in law whatsoever as far as TuneCore's position. So we would like to know if we can prove.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
That our client is a real artist. He's paid for his marketing. He releases music. He's done all the things. He has followers on social media. We release his money. And TuneCore led us believe that they would. So over the course of now, we are several months into this. Our client has paid a lot of unnecessary money. But you know what? They seem like they're going to play ball, so we keep going down this road. And this is some of the stuff that we provided to TuneCore. This is a screenshot from our client's Facebook ad account. And we've redacted, of course, his personal information. You can see right here, he paid $25,000 for this.
So y'all see that? He paid $25,000 for ads so that his music could be run and people would stream it and so on and so forth. So he broke no rules. He didn't do anything wrong. He did what they tell you to do. He did what basically any music record label would do, is pay for advertising on social media sites or wherever it is they want to pay for, marketing at, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or whatever. I'm sure these ads went to YouTube and Instagram because I think that's how Instagram ads work. But he spent $25,000 and they sent the proof over to TuneCore that he actually paid for advertising and didn't pay for a stream farm.
This number of campaigns during this relevant time period. And because of that, here's what happened. These are some of the analytics showing, for example, up here, that he had received a reach of 19 million people who actually saw his content. And then if you look here at the summary, the total impressions was 161 million people. So,
all right. So I don't know how many of you guys do YouTube and how many of you guys do socials, but if you look at the impressions to views, that's about what you get. So like on my YouTube page, I'm not going to pull my numbers up right now because I don't have everything blocked out and all that stuff. But basically for every 1 million impressions that I get, I'm probably going to get 90,000 to 120,000 views. That's just the way that it is, And this is pretty close to what you would get, you know? Some numbers similar to this, like it's spot on. So this isn't fudged up numbers. This is what the numbers are supposed to look like when you pay for a campaign, or if it's, why am I at a loss of words? Or if it's all natural, like if it's all, why am I at a loss of words? I know the word, or if it's all organic, it's all going to look like this.
So to the extent that someone wants to take the position, say, I see that there was just, all of a sudden this huge spike of traffic, which is honestly one of the reasons this happens to artists and producers. Because, for example, the last time I was dealing with DistroKid, and the client made sleepy time music. And so it was music that would be streamed a long time as people are sleeping. And then he did a lot of ads on Facebook to drive a lot of promotion. And so all this spike of traffic triggered Spotify to then be like, I think that this is fake plays, and then it notified the distributor, and then we had to go through this whole thing. But we got the account reinstated, we got the monies paid to the client, all the things. And so we produced this information, and we even went so far as to produce additional information showing things like beats that he had purchased, his social media following, just showing that he's an active artist. So we went through and jumped through the hoops. Guess what happened? Well, you guessed it. TuneCore took the same position, and they said, nope, I don't think so. We're not going to release the monies. And in fact, this is not the only time that this has happened. This is happening to a lot of artists. And in fact, just last week, Ben Jordan was complaining about this. And he posted, he goes, wow, look, his music had been removed for alleged streaming fraud. And so he tagged TuneCore, he tagged Spotify, showing his streams. And then after posting about this and making a stink about it publicly, his music finally got reinstated. I'm not saying that TuneCore provides crappy service.
TuneCore provides crappy service I'm saying it. TuneCore provides crappy service if they don't want to pay their artist.
Saying that you should leave their platform. I'm saying that I believe that this unlimited royalty forfeiture language is unlawful, in my opinion. It's exploitative to artists, and it needs to be revised immediately, because this is a contract that hundreds of thousands of artists are signing, and this issue is happening across the board, which is why I go back to, we have a distributor, and potentially more than just this distributor, who is pocketing money when they decide that there is a credible allegation in the whole gambit of potential claims, which may or may not even be true. Someone claims alleged copyright infringement. Someone alleges fake streaming. And if the distributor decides, seems legit to me, without providing any proof whatsoever to the actual artist or even their attorney, after months of attempting to resolve this. What I do think is reasonable is that distributors, of course, if they do get sanctioned because something happens, that there be reasonable language in their terms of service that says they can recoup in an amount that is equal to the damages actually suffered. Guys.
So yeah, she brings up some good points there. Y'all know I got to get my vape on real quick. So she brings, let me get this smoke out the way. I'm not going to get off it when I'm going to give the outro and everything on this. I don't know how, I don't know yet. I'll tell y'all when I'm going to give the outro. But she gives some pretty, this vape juice rolling around the air. So she gives some pretty good tips. So she gives some pretty good info there, as we can all see. I definitely recommend going to check out Top Music Attorney. Give her a subscribe, give her a like, check her out on IG. She makes music too. She's a really dope musician. But this leaves me to think, was Kanye right all along? So although Kanye went down the slope of craziness, I absolutely don't agree with everything Kanye says. Everything at the beginning of the video was not a way for me to make it seem like what Kanye said was right. It's just a way to show that there's a huge double standard. And I mean, it does show that some of the things that he talks about, he's right about, he's right about the powers to be in music and how they do whatever they want to. They take advantage of the musicians. They take our money. They do everything to not support the musician. And then at the end of the day, like, they'll do stuff like put the blame on us, like blame him because he paid for a marketing, strategy. He spent $25,000 And they basically said he botted streams when everything shows through the impressions, through the views and all that, that he should get paid the tens of thousands of dollars that he deserves, because ultimately he put the money, the time, and the effort into his craft. So, you know, crazy old Kanye might have been right. Make sure if you guys do like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button. Hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. If you guys like, you know, stuff like this where I'm on stream and maybe I do some reactions and stuff about serious topics, we're not doing drama. You know, this isn't TMZ. This isn't, you know, Page Six. None of that crap. We don't get down like that. It'll be about good topics. Let me know. But I appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, chat. So what do y'all think about that? I'm not getting off yet. I'm going to talk with y'all for a little bit. Y'all hung out with me and y'all watched me do this for an hour, so I can definitely hang out with y'all for a while, and you know, we can chop it up. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? Maybe I'll add some of this in too. What do you guys think about the whole situation? You know, coming back maybe a year or 2 years later, listening to some of the stuff that, because I don't even want to say the words, because I don't want to get my video shadow banned and I don't want to get canceled. But, you know, what do you guys think about some of what Kanye was saying? Because I mean, I think Kanye's been jumping off the ledge for a while, though. And I have to admit that. I think that, like, when he was talking about slavery was a choice. I mean, if you want to say there's a choice between life or death, that's a bad argument to have, you know? They got guns. We don't have guns. So it's not really a choice like that. But I think he's been jumping out on, you know, off the ledge for a while, you know. Right. You've done nothing because they can't prove that. So here's where I'm torn. And some of this I probably do need to put in the video, but here's where I'm torn, right? So everybody's like, well, we need to figure out a way to get a new streaming platform, and we need to figure out a way in order to, you know, let the musicians take over. But that's what's always happened. You know, like all these companies, they started out with the best interest of the artist in hand. So, you know, they made Spotify so that people wouldn't take, you know, music for free, so we wouldn't use LimeWire no more, and so people wouldn't use all these different sites to just download the music for free. So, like, that's why the music streaming started. It started for a good reason, but you can only be good for so long if you want to be a billionaire. Like they say, you know, every billionaire, every millionaire, well, I don't want to say millionaire, but every billionaire has done some nasty stuff in their life to get to where they're at. You have to, you know. You have to have stepped on some people. You've had to have taken advantage of people. You've had to do a whole bunch of nasty stuff to get $1 billion, because that's a lot of money. You know, you could fall into $1 million, you could fall into 10 million, but in order to get to 10 billion, unless you're like an athlete who, you know, nowadays these athletes are just getting money, you know, for playing, you know, $60 million a year. You play basketball for 15 years, you can be a billionaire by the time you retire with your contracts and everything. But if you think about that, they are getting paid off of the backs of sweatshop workers. But to take it one step further, we have sweatshop workers here in America. We just don't see it as that, because fast food workers are, in essence, slave shop owners. And I used to run some restaurants, so unfortunately, I can't say much, because I was the leader of the sweatshop for a while. But I mean, if you look at what it is for the cost of living in China, they can live, I think the cost of living there is like, what's the cost of living in China? I want to make sure I have my facts accurate, but I believe you can live there for like $500 a month or something like that. China, and this is on average. I guess we'll go China versus USA. So China's cost of living is 45% lower than the US. Rent in China is 60% lower than the average US. And so a lot of times we talk about sweatshops and how they only make $3 or $3.50 an hour. Well, if minimum wage in America is $7.25 and it basically, costs double the amount to live in America as it does in China, you're going to tell me that working in a fast food restaurant's not a sweatshop, especially when you consider like a lot of times, a lot of these people are working they're working in the summer, an air conditioner can go out. They still got to work in these hot ass kitchens, or like they don't have the greatest ideal work conditions, like I've seen it all, man. And so like when it comes to that area, and so it's like, it's no different. It's no different than somebody working at Walmart making minimum wage. Yeah, they may not be sewing shoes, but you going to tell me working at Walmart for minimum wage isn't like a sweat job? That's a terrible job, And so, or like working in the field, you know what I'm saying? Picking strawberries for minimum wage. That's straight sweatshop work when you're taking it in account. Oh, y'all couldn't even see this. When you're taking into account, they're saying the cost of living, and they have all kinds of different, here we go. Here we have different charts here. So we can actually look into like cost of living, different things. And so like, right now, a meal at McDonald's is $5.11 in China, and on average it's $10.50 here. Beer is 97 cents in China, where it's $6 here. You know what I'm saying? You can just see 47 cents for a Coca-Cola, where it's $2.47, like $2.50 here. Water's 30 cents there. And then like when you look at things like, essentials like bread's $1.48 there to $3.23. Rice is 44 cents to $2.06. You know what I'm saying? Eggs is $1.75 to $3.73. So as you're seeing, you can get beef, it's $2 cheaper. Apples is, almost $2 cheaper. So when you're just looking at the price of all this stuff, you can get a 12-pack of beer in China for, this isn't right. I know this ain't right. It says $3.53 in America. I know that's not right. But, you see cigarettes and all that stuff. So I'm absolutely not. Maybe I'm thinking about moving to China. Absolutely not. My kids live in America, so I got to stay here. But if I was to move, though, I don't even know where I would move to. What did Jedi say? Well, here's my thoughts about popular music. I'm not saying I'm right or I'm not wrong. Nowadays, popular music, I feel like, depending on the genre, so I feel like rap music is like a cesspool right now. So the rap music that they put on the radio is basically music that'll perpetuate the cycle of tearing down the black community. Because when hip hop first started, they ain't playing no gangster rap on the fucking radio. They weren't playing, you know what I'm saying, no Ice-T or no NWA on the radio back in the day. Everything was like LL Cool J, or like, you get into the 90s and you got like, they played commercial stuff on the radio. So it'd be like MC Hammer. It was like dance music, Vanilla Ice. It was like rap music that people were dancing to. And then like on BET and MTV and stuff, they would play music that I don't think that the Biggie Smalls and the Nas and the music that and the Tupac, the music that they played on TV was more uplifting. Yeah, they would have some shit that talked about, the struggles that we went through in our communities and stuff like that on their albums, or they would talk about, their gang shit or their whatever it was. But, we were getting If I Ruled the World by Nas. We were getting It Was All a Dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. That was the kind of music that we got, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. We got songs like that. I Don't Want to Be a Player No More. That's what we got, to listen to when I was young. So it wasn't music that was tearing down the, community. It wasn't WAP. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't people talking about drugs. It wasn't people talking about, killing people, gang violence and stuff like that. Not saying that I never listened to that music. I was one of the biggest Brother Lynch Hung fans you'll ever find. I listen to everything. I'm from the Midwest, so I listen to everything. But nowadays, the music tears down the community. And that's the music that the people who run the record labels want us to listen to. So if you want to be a popular, like, hip hop artist, then you have to conform to that and you have to rap like that. And so there is still a market for people who don't want to put out that kind of music, because there's people who don't want to listen to that kind of music. Like, I don't listen to the radio. I ain't listened to the radio. I haven't listened. I mean, let me run that back. Let me run that back, because that would be a straight lie. I listen to the radio in Atlanta because they have radio stations that play old school music. So all the music from the late 90s and the early 2000s and shit like that, the music that I just got done talking about, they have a radio station where they play that stuff all the time. But if it came to like listening to a current radio station, I don't listen to any current radio stations because they're not talking about anything that I would be interested in. I'm not interested in hearing anybody selling drugs. I'm not interested about listening to nobody being a gangster or a thug, or like in their young age. Maybe like if it's like Jay-Z reminiscing, or maybe if it's like, the LOX, Jadakiss reminiscing about, the things that he did. Well, then, yeah, I can listen to that because I can relate to that shit. But right now, I can't relate to like, Young Thug and the Baby, singing. I fuck with the Baby. I shouldn't say that shit, but Lil Baby or something like that, Roddy Ricch. I can't really get down with niggas singing and rapping about getting folded and all that other shit, because I'm just not doing that. Even when I was tore up on this channel and y'all were following me, y'all weren't going to catch me out there. I wasn't doing no drugs and shit. I mean, I guess weed, but it's illegal. But, I wasn't out there doing no other shit, What's good, Ridge Hustle? So, I mean, I just don't know, man. What do you guys think about the current state of music, What do you think that, how do you think we fix it? That's the next conversation, is what do we do to fix it? How do we fix it? Because that's what I want to know, is how do we fix it? How do we fix our current state of music and make it a better, better for our kids, Because it's like, I do music. And so I just think that the odds are one of my kids are going to do music, it is what it is. Since I do it, I don't know which one it's going to be. My daughter, she's more artistic than my son. My son, he trying to play video games and, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But she's like artsy. So she likes to draw. She's got like a little piano keyboard. So she likes to mess with that from time to time, play with her guitar. She's in choir. So odds are she's going to be the musician out of the two. Or maybe both of them are, maybe neither of them are, I don't know. But it's kind of, for me, I would want that. Obviously you want your kid to do some of the similar things that you do. And especially as you grow and you learn things, so they don't have to go through some of the same struggles that you went through trying to do it. But it's just scary trying to put your child, or thinking about putting your child into this space, because you know what happens to a lot of young musicians, or you know what happens to a lot of musicians, or you see what happened to yourself, or you see the things that you were doing as a musician. The only thing we can change is ourselves. I mean, you're right. No. Well, I'll give you this. The only thing that we can change is ourselves, but we can hold a helping hand in changing somebody else. So if you don't give any effort to helping somebody else change, then yes, the only thing that you can do is change yourself. But if you give effort and you try to help others, you'll be surprised how much change that you can do in this world. Like I always talk about, from time to time, when I was in Omaha, there was a period in time where I didn't drink probably for like 12 years or something like that. And I smoked weed. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I didn't drink. I didn't do like any drugs, like hard drugs or nothing like that. And I used to go to different meetings and I used to help people. You can call me and I'd help them out, with their recovery. I don't want to say I was a coach, and I don't want to say I was a sponsor, because I never really wanted to sponsor somebody. I didn't want to have full responsibility of, you're calling me every day to check in and shit. Like, I got fucking kids. I got a job. I'm working 60 to 80 hours a week. I'm doing music. I don't got time to be a sponsor, but I'll come to these meetings and I'll rock with you. And so I would hire, you know, people who were ex-addicts off the street, you know, who would be, I'd hire homeless people, people who were in rehab centers, and I would try to help them get back on their feet and see life from a different perspective, because they see you as somebody who's went through it. You know, I've been to rehab, I've been arrested, I've been falsely arrested fucking 6 times in my life. So I've been through a lot of things that they've been through. And I would just try to give back to them by showing them or preaching to them or giving them an opportunity or helping them or whatever the case is. So I feel like you can help. If you can be a role model, you can help and you can change people's perspective. Suit Money, if you're still in here, welcome, welcome. I would agree that you have to change yourself, but let me ask you this. What about the people who have already done a good job of changing? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't they giving back? I always get frustrated when people get out of a bad situation and then they don't give back. I always get super frustrated with that. Oh, this woman. I'll fight my ex-wife. I'll fight my ex-wife. Not really. She just sent me a text message of some food she cooked, and like, she's Filipino, so she be cooking like lumpia and pancit, and that shit bangs. I can't really make I can't make lumpia that good. Like, I can't make it as good as her. I'm a really good cook. I'm not trying to knock her. I'm not trying to diss her. I'm a better cook than she is, but I can't cook lumpia. And so, like, I just can't do it. Every time I try to make it, I burn that shit. Yeah, man. So it's kind of like a egg roll, but it's really just meat with a little bit of stuff in there. It's like a Filipino egg roll, but it's fire. And then pancit's good too. Let me see. We get some images of lumpia. Yeah, this is what lumpia looks like. It's fire though. It's fire. I used to kill this shit, dude. She used to make lumpia. I used to eat like 15, 20 of these things. But you gotta make some more. And then pancit is like noodles. But it's fire. And together it's a good combination because you get the crunchy from the pancit and then you get the noodles. Yeah, other countries' foods are good depending on you know, what you eat. I mean, there's just Patreon, man. If you want to, if you, you know, Patreon is Patreon. It's not, I don't know. I don't have the answer if there's one specifically for artists. But I do know that, you know, just Patreon is Patreon. You can use it if you're a musician. I wouldn't say that angry and dark music doesn't have its place. You know what I'm saying? So let me say this too. I don't want to gatekeep all the music that comes on the radio. But what I am trying to say is I feel like there needs to get back to being more positive music. There needs to be get back to there being more music where people are dancing and stuff like that, because it's like, bro, hip hop is like elements. Hip hop isn't just rap music, and that's where people get this thing messed up, is they think that all hip hop is like rappers like Talib Kweli, and then they think like I honestly don't know what people think, but hip hop consists of breaking, you know what I'm saying? So people dancing, it consists of DJs, it consists of graffiti, it consists of rap. So rap there's tons of subgenres to rap. So you have trap music, it's a subgenre to rap, you know, boom bap, it's a subgenre to rap. You know, East Coast, West Coast, whatever you want to call it, it's dirty South, it's all subgenres, you know? So gangster rap, it's rap. The word is rap. So gangster rap is just a subgenre of rap. And so we need to get back into more rap where people are dancing. I know a lot of people clown commercial rappers, but they weren't, I mean, MC Hammer sold how many records? You know what I'm saying? Vanilla Ice sold how many records? You know, all these artists sold a bunch of records. And then what happened was the next wave of rappers came in and they didn't want to be dancey rappers, which is fine. But then it's like 50 Cent and Ja Rule, okay? So 50 Cent came in and was talking shit about Ja Rule because he was singing. And then 50 Cent basically stole Ja Rule's whole entire style and started singing. Well, a lot of underground rappers came in and they didn't want to be commercial rappers because commercial rappers were singing and dancing. Now, granted, they didn't steal the dancing and all that stuff that the commercial rappers like the MC Hammers and the Vanilla Ices and all them were doing, but the underground rappers became the rappers they didn't want to be. So Nas and Jay-Z and the Lox and all these rappers who didn't want to be commercial rappers when they first started became commercial rappers. Mason Cameron, when you listen to the Children of the Corn stuff, they didn't want to be commercial rappers. And then Mace sold all the way out, you know, and was suit and ties and all this other stuff. So it's like people always talk about what they aren't until they become that. And then it becomes cool. And so then the dancing rappers faded out because the underground rappers took over, and it's probably easier, in my mind, it's easier to be rap like Jay-Z and Nas than it is to rap like MC Hammer, because who the hell is trying to dance like MC Hammer on stage while they're rapping their songs? That shit don't even sound like it's fun. Look, I performed a lot, right? And by the end of the performance, I'd be hella tired, you know? Like, man, it'd be 20 minute set. By the end of that set, I am fucking drained. I am just drenched in sweat. You know what I'm saying? From head to toe. I can't breathe. I'm tired. I've given my whole entire energy. I mean, I could still go for another 10, 15, 20, as long as I needed to go. I could do the whole set as long as I needed it to be. But by the end of a set, I am all the way drained. I have nothing left to give. And I couldn't imagine being somebody who's dancing on stage like MC Hammer or one of these dudes, because I'm not doing that shit, you know? I'm not giving that much energy. Yeah, I think that the majority would be the rapper who is just rapping about what, you know, whatever, you know, making up stories, you know, about their life. Charles 13X, what's good? Now, we all know that 50 wasn't the street cat that he says he was. And most people, if you really follow that beef and you really know, if you're really in the know, you know that Ja Rule actually beat up 50 Cent, which is hilarious to me. Like, 50 still gets to talk all this shit in the world because he won the battle, but them two got into a fist fight and Ja Rule won the fist fight, which is hella funny. Because you just think about, you know, the persona that 50 gives is just wild. What does it say? Yo, he said if 50 came in the game 4 years later, he'd be rubbing oil on his chest. Hey, man. Are we going to act like he didn't rub oil on his chest in the club, though? He just wasn't dancing and shit. I mean, I think that 50 probably would have put on a shiny suit. Because the first song I ever heard of 50 Cent was How to Jack an Industry. And that was a straight jiggy-ass beat. I mean, the song, you know, he's talking about all the people in the industry or whatever, but it was a straight jiggy-ass beat. Straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a jiggy ass beat. Yeah, he just dissed everybody. And it was a good song though. I like that song. And then the second song that I heard 50 Cent on was React. You know what I'm saying? By Onyx. Kill it in the club, baby, show some love. My true thugs in the club, baby, where are you? You know what I'm saying? That song, that shit was fucking jiggy as shit. That was another jiggy ass song. So his first two songs were on two super commercial beats. I mean, I agree. I think if 50 Cent came out in like 1996, he would have probably been more like Mace than he would have been like Biggie. Yo, we're not even, yo. Trackmasters made some jiggy ass beats. Ain't nothing wrong with a jiggy ass beat. As I say it, people hate the word jiggy because Will Smith jacked that up. But I remember when jiggy came out, that was the word, dog. But I just mean like a hype, dancey ass beat. And I would play the song, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. But that React, I mean, kill it in the club, baby. Show some love. My true thugs in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're talking about being in the club. You know, doop, 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 doop. You know what I'm saying? Doop, 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 doop. That's the jiggiest melody I ever heard in my life. But it was definitely some good stuff, man. So I don't know, man. Y'all want to talk about anything else? That might be all that I have for y'all today. If y'all want to know what my debate is right now, I think I showed y'all this the other day. I'm probably going to go upstairs and order this. Or at least go stare at it for... I'm probably going to go stare at this for the next few hours and debate on whether I want it or not. I really want it. But it doesn't come with the reels. This is what I'm thinking about scooping. This is what I'm thinking about scooping. Yeah, I know. This might be mine by the end of the night. If I order it tonight, when will it get here? I'll get it here by next Saturday. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I want. That's what I want. I think I already told y'all on the last stream. Either that or this. I really want this, though. I really want this. But I'm getting a used one. If I grab one of these, it's going to be a used one, so it's not going to be this price. It'll be $15. It'll be $1,500 instead of fucking $4,000. But I really want it. Like, I really want it. I want it so bad. This is like my dream preamp. I really want this. Yeah, the one that I want is... Let me see here. Gotta make sure no sensitive information comes up. Kill it in the club, baby. Show some love. Marketplace. Here we go. Yeah, so this is the one I want. And as you can see, he's got it right here. And he's charging $15 for it. Oh, y'all can't even see it because there's type over. I really want this shit. I really want it. But I don't fucking know. I feel like the tape machine would be more beneficial first, because as soon as, like I keep saying, when I move, I'm gonna start making. I already have a ton of presets, but I can like run all these presets back through the tape, which will make them more full, more thick, and then I can make some fire drums for y'all, because I have a couple of different preamps already. So I have like a 1073 style preamp. So dude, running them drums through that fucking 1073 preamp and then into a tape machine. Oh man, I can get some fire ass drums, you know, some fire drums. What's up, Tiff? You missed a good one. I kind of went back through Miss Crystal or Top Music Attorney's video, but I added more to it. So I'm going to chop this video down, though. It's probably going to be like a half hour, 45 minutes, though. It's going to be a long-ass video. But I need to have all the information in there because I feel like it all needs to be there. It's probably going to turn some people off. I think the beginning's probably going to lose me some subscribers, but it is what it is. People hate. People hate when you speak your mind and shit, but it is what it is. I'm going to try to keep it thorough. But I'm about to jump up off here, y'all, and go look at these 2 items for the next 2 hours, and maybe I'll order one. I appreciate y'all as always. I'll be back for the live stream here in about 14 hours, I guess. I'll probably get on right at 2. So I'll be back and we'll rock out and listen to y'all's music and everything. And you know what I'm saying? Have a good Sunday. So you guys enjoy your night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all. Vance, I didn't even know you was in here, bro. Welcome, welcome. I should have known though. Appreciate you.